Welcome back. Now let's talk about something else. The crisis rocking the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, is showing no sign of abating. President Muhammadu Buhari had earlier set up a committee to probe the activities of the commission since inception. And in February, the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, announced an interim management team for the agency. But allegations of financial recklessness have continued to plague the NDDC. The most recent is the case of alleged 40 billion naira mismanagement now by the Interim Management Committee, which gained momentum over the past few weeks. An attempt to check the books of the NDDC by the House of Representatives has been met with accusations as well. The Interim Management Committee claims the House of Representatives padded the 2019 budget of the Commission, amidst other allegations. But the National Assembly says it is not backing down and its probe must continue. Let's now hear from the spokesperson of the House of Reps, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, who joins us from Abuja. Honorable, thank you very much for talking to us. First off, we've seen this crisis brewing in the NDDC, the allegations and counter-allegations against the Interim Management Committee and, of course, the House of Reps. Are you surprised with how this NDDC saga is playing out?
No, it's not supposed to be so. I'm not happy with what is going on because NDDC belongs to the executive arm of government, and the committee on NDDC is of the legislative arm of government. And our constitution made it possible for each of these arm of government to work independent of each other and to play the role of checks and balances. And doctrine of separation of power also upholds the expectation that we'll work on the areas that the Constitution has mandated us to work, and the executive on theirs as well. Section 88 and Section 89 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria gave us that power to oversight commissions like NDDC. We have not acted outside the mandate of that commission by the Constitution. All we are doing falls within the parameters of the enabling powers of the Constitution on this arm of government. So the interpretation that have been given to it so far is not what we had expected. This is not the first time we'll be inviting the MDAs to come and interact with us on the grounds that Nigerians need some questions to be answered. We've invited Ministry of Works severally, and the Minister, Senator Fashola, the former governor of Lagos State, will come with his team and sit down and give us all the explanation that Nigerians, raise. So we expected that to be the same with the NDDC. A lot of Nigerians have been clamoring for explanation with regards to 40 billion naira that was spent recently. And petitions are all over in the various committees of the House, especially the Public Petition Committee and also the NDDC Committee. And this has given rise to a motion that was moved by the Deputy Leader of the House, Honorable Akpatason, asking the House to raise a resolution for an investigative hearing to be conducted. And this was what the House have done in their own wisdom, to set up an investigative committee, to look into these accusations. Remember, they are just allegations, accusation. Nobody has been indicted. The NDDC has not been indicted. These are just accusations. And based on the principle of natural justice with regards to granting of fair hearing, we have given them the opportunity to come and interact with us. Let us hear the other side of the story. what is their own explanation with regards to the accusation? I don't think it's anything bad. But the reaction we are getting from NDDC and the way they are, throwing tantrum looks a bit suspicious. And it's making us more resolute in our decision to make sure that this investigative committee carries their job to the letter.
Now, the acting MD has also said that over 500 ghost projects were approved in its 2019 budget. And, of course, accused the National Assembly of padding the budget of the NDDC. What's your own response to that?
You see, we have heard figures being thrown up and down. The first one we heard during the interview of my very good family friend, Dr. Ojubo, Cairo, was 7,000 projects padded into the budget, 1,000 projects padded into the budget. And one begins to wonder if the people who are in this IMC are in touch with the statistics of what is happening in their organization. I can assure you that the total number of projects in that particular budget in reference, which is 2019, as a member of the committee, I was there when we did the analysis. Total number of projects remains 5,959. And out of these 5,959 projects, 5,416 projects spilled, they were rolled over from 2018 to 2019. When you minus 5,959 and you take out 5,416 out of it, you are having 543 projects. And so where are they getting the 1,000 and the 7,000 projects they're talking about? And when you come to these 500 projects that we are talking about, it is spread across 9 states plus the head office. That is what they share in this 500 projects we are talking about. And this 500 project includes the head office of NDDC as a budget item, budget head. It includes the furnishing of the head office. It includes the forensic auditing that is going on. They are part of this 500 project we are talking about. So when people hear that 500 project was, or 1,000 project was from National Assembly, it's not true. The facts are there. And let me also let Nigerians know, because now that I mentioned forensic auditing, we've been accused that we are not in support of the forensic auditing. But Nigerians need to know.
Exactly, because I just wanted to ask you, because some have actually said the president has already ordered a forensic audit of the NDDC now. And is there really a need for the House of Reps to label itself now with this investigation? Why not wait for that forensic audit?
No, the executive don't do our job. I started by telling you about the principles of separation of power and the need for those checks and balances. They are there to enable the government, which, though 3 arms of government, remains one government. They are there to drive the efficiency, the effectiveness of this government. So the legislative arm will not start doing what the executive arm is supposed to do. The executive arm cannot do what the legislative arm is supposed to do. The Mr. President that I know will tell you whatever belongs to the legislative arm remains with the legislative arm. Whatever function that belongs to that arm of government should be left for them to answer. Just like we are saying whatever that the president is supposed to do, they should be allowed to do that. And in answering your question further, when the head of government, the president of the republic, gave a directive, it is taken that every MDA, under such directive, supposed to obey that directive. But this was not what we saw when we look at the budget estimate of 2019. This particular commission did not have any budget line that captured forensic auditing. This is what Nigerians need to do. That budget was presented without any adherence to the directive of Mr. President. That is the truth. We can give you the raw data, the raw estimate that they presented to us. They excluded anything that will make that directive to be carried. It was the National Assembly that is being accused today of not wanting to obey the directives of the president that observed the gap. and said, no, the leadership of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila, in his wisdom said, ensure that the directive from Mr. President, that it is represented in that budget. And we went to work and made sure that we captured the line and made provision for the forensic auditing and also for the funding of the forensic auditing. Not the NDDC, but the National Assembly. This is the truth that Nigerians need to know. And then, going further to your question, does the coming in place of forensic auditing have any conflict with the role of the National Assembly in oversighting the commission? The answer is no. The Constitution is clear. Section 88 and 89 says we can make any investigative inquiry from any person, any commission, any ministry that will help the government function properly in blocking gaps that has to do with corruption and expenses that are not provided for. And that is what we are doing. You see, the only question that one may ask as lawmakers, which is as a result of so many inquiries we have gotten into the House, is did Section 85 sub 3 paragraph A and B of the Constitution with regards to how the forensic auditors, the standard auditors were appointed, was it complied with? Especially as it affects the role that needed to be played by the Auditor General of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That is what the provision of 85(3) paragraph A and B say. There is a role that the Auditor General is supposed to play. Did he play that role in giving the list of external auditors to be chosen from? And also the scale of fees that are supposed to be paid, did he handle that responsibility? That is a question for another day, and we will discover that in the course of our oversight functions. We are interacting with the Office of the Auditor General, Accountant General, and other agencies to establish what happened in their relationship. Even public procurement, all of them have a role to play, and we are reaching out to some of these agencies to give us what they have on their relationship with NDDC. We'll be able to guide NDDC to say, you didn't do this well, you need to do this well. Nobody is going to be crucified, but the truth must be revealed because this is taxpayers' money. When you are called to account for it, you should not start distracting the public because they are leaving the issue and they want the Nigerians to start pursuing shadow. And that is a strategic way of distracting the National Assembly. They don't want us to talk about 40 billion. They want us to talk about budget padding that was not there, that is not existing. They want us to talk about presidential budget. Do you know they say that we remove presidential regional projects? There is nothing like that in the budget. There is nothing like that in the budget. They are trying to indict the president by saying the president has some input in the budget, and that is not the truth. There is nothing we saw that reflected that, okay, the president is interested in the regional project and is personally interested. There is nothing like that. It is also important to note that they also accuse us that we delayed the passing of their budget. The answer is, is not true.
Well, Honorable, I'm sorry, but I have to cut you there. Thank you very much, Honorable Kalu, for speaking to us on the program. And as you have said, the truth must be revealed because Nigerians are waiting to see the outcome of this. Honorable Benjamin Kalu, once again, thank you very much for speaking to us. Well, that's it on the program. But if you want to watch it again, it's very simple. Just go to our website, TV360Nigeria.com. You'll find this program and lots more there. You can also follow the conversation on our various social media platforms. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.